All right. Okay, here we go. I got a big old chug of water. I got some salt and straw. We're ready to fucking bust some nuts in the name of justice. Let's go. I love the fucking stage for this one. How did I get into this mess? That's far enough. You can't run forever. Mr. Phoenix, right? I'm going to assume that's Franziska. Oh, it's the judge. I think this happened at the beginning of the game. What have I done wrong? I cannot allow you to go on like this. But I'm just a simple defense attorney. Silence. You are no longer worthy of your title. Death. God, just flashbanged me. I've had this dream before somewhere, as if this day was written into my destiny. Oh yeah, that ringtone was the guy's ringtone from the first episode. Today I'll stand in court as a lawyer to prove a killer innocent. March 23rd, 9:43 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Phone, beep. Hello, this is Phoenix Wright. I don't know what voice. I'm going to assume he's being the skater bro again. You don't look so well, dude. Yeah, he is. You're going to prove me not guilty today, right? Aha! If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me. Your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict, too. Grr. Now listen up. You better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty verdict, I'll never forgive you. Ever. Maya. Phoenix. Oh, God. MILF. Pearls. I don't like it. Maya. How's Maya? I don't know. You don't know? She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia. What? What am I supposed to do? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But you can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please. There's nothing left. Not here, not anywhere. Except with Edgeworth, baby. Is that uncursed on guard again? Will you leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore. I mean it. Oh, it's Gumshoe. You're really mean, pal. No. Gumshoe, I'm really, really sorry. Where are you? They let me join the investigation team and we're going chasing after to kill a pal. For your friend. Then you have some sort of lead? Sorry, but right now we've got 0 leads on the guy. But we're not going to give up. Gumshoe, until the trial is over, until the verdict is handed down, we're going to do everything we can do to find the killer. If we can get Maya out, then you can get on guard the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. That's true. I could do that if they found Maya first. You got that? So you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer. If to make the trial last longer? If you go at Mr. Edgeworth with everything you've got, then you two can draw it out. Oh, now I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're going to give it all we got just like you. Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. Beep. Hey, Phoenix. You understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship with a fucking idiot who happens to be in a position of unimaginable power within the police force. Who would have thought that? You can't buy that. He's too dumb. You can't buy that. It's the strongest weapon in the world and you have it in abundance. Yeah. Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through. I know it. I don't know about that one, pal. It's a tall order, pal. I don't know. Court is now in session for the... It's me again. It's been a while, hasn't it? Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Fucking Phoenix right over there. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being... I love the judge, how he's like, yesterday we ended with not knowing if Miss Andrews was the killer. And then Phoenix and Edgeworth come in and they're like, all right, fuck all that. What? I know what we said yesterday. It was all wrong. Total bullshit. We got a whole new case for you today. Same case, different case. That is she really connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edgeworth, if you would please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion on Mr. Ungard, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. The guilt of those actions are those from which she cannot escape. So you're saying she is guilty after all? I'm not finished, Your Honor. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is it? It looks like a shell. This is the calling card of an assassin. An assassin, you say? Yes, Juan Kuroda was killed by a professional assassin, and the person who hired his assassin is his client, so to speak, Matt Ungard. What a surprising turn of events. I would think it's commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what's going on this time. So I know everything that Edgeworth has said is true. It's true, you know all the facts beforehand this time. But we still have to hold out as long as we can, at least until Maya's safe and sound. I wonder how today's trial will turn out. It's all under control, baby. I got a walkthrough. Phoenix. Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution would call the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, as stand. The fuck could Will Oh yeah, we don't know that, what Will saw. Now then, witness, your name and occupation, please.
Okay, I'm Will Powers. I'm a poor underpaid action star.
And what is your relation to the defendant?
Well, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way, yeah.
Mr. Powers, please, you don't need to put yourself down so much.
Oh, sorry, I guess he's Canadian now. Or like Minnesota. Well, I'm just that sort of nothing. I'm just kind of a nothing sort of guy.
On the night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is this correct?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
But you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went.
All you need to do is answer what you're asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Mr. Ungard's room.
Okay, sure. Pooh, Matt.
Sorry. All right, here we go.
Ding, ding, ding.
After the award ceremony, I went to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room talking to the fucking killer. Still in the nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone. At first, I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had guests with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me.
It was like 3 sentences. Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Powers' testimony, and talking with the bellboy is no big deal. If one assumes the person that Mr. Ungard was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy. What are you implying? Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. A trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're going to have to charge in head first. Well, I mean, shouldn't Phoenix know that the bellboy is the assassin? He's seen the bellboy and he's seen the butler. He should know who the killer is, right? Like, he should be like, oh, that's the person that told Maya to go get the phone. The bellboy. I know who this is.
After the award ceremony, I went to Matt's room.
The defendant's room? Why'd you go there?
Well, I'm his mentor and kind of a big brother of sorts, and I wanted to say congrats.
What's wrong? Why'd you stop?
Mr. Wright.
What is it?
You're gonna try to trick me into a corner, aren't you?
Huh?
I know I'm just a poor underpaid action star, but I'm not the killer.
Oh. Will? No, buddy.
You won't trick me into murder.
That's not no one said you were, Mr. Powers.
No, please. Don't trick me. Every time you do your lawyer thing, the witness suddenly turns into a bad guy.
Every time? Witness, I will personally talk to the defense at a later time. So for now, please kindly cooperate and continue with your testimony.
Sorry.
I love that he fucking... So you went to the defendant's room and then... Hey, wait a minute. When did I turn into the bad guy?
Are you sure that that was Matt on guard?
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't wearing the nickel samurai mask then. If that's the case, then you really can't be mistaken. And what was the defendant doing standing in front of his own room? He was talking with someone at first. I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had guests with me that night and I couldn't make them wait for me. I'm pretty sure I was the guest. You saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant, together, correct? Yeah, the bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? I did feel like something was weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip? But that's perfectly normal. So how long did you watch the two of them? Oh, well, not more than a minute or two, I think. Sorry that I changed his voice. I like it better, though. I had guests with me, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was us. So who are those guests you're talking about? You guys, of course. You, Maya, and Little Pearl. I thought it would be really rude since I invited you guys if I disappeared on you, so I went back to my seat pretty soon after seeing Matt in the hallway. It's like squeezing water from a stone. It's probably pointless to press further. Do you remember the incident? Did Mr. Powers leave his seat that night? I don't remember that happening at all. Maya was making such a racket in a hyper state, I ended up focusing on her. I see. In any case, from his story, he probably wasn't gone very long. What am I supposed to do? Okay, I'm already stumped. I don't understand what they want me to do. Oh, I have to go back and push on the third statement again about the tip. At first, what do you mean by that? Oh, this is different. Actually, Mr. Powers, only a few minutes ago you stated... I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. Could it be that you felt something strange? Could it be that you felt something strange about the tip giving incident itself? Ah, yeah, that's it. You really know your job. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. This bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? Marge. Matt gave the bellboy a tip. I'm just gonna keep pushing, baby. So he gave the bellboy a tip. What's so strange about that? Ah, well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was. But that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket, and then I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. I'm afraid I don't follow at all. Sounds like Mr. Powers was surprised twice by this event. I wonder which one of the shocking moments I should ask about. The tip, not the face. It doesn't matter that he has the stitches down his face. What matters is he paid him $1 billion. Because that was an assassination fee. Sure, but giving him that much, maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much. Would you please clarify for the court? About how much would you say the defendant gave the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I couldn't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash? Fat Benjis, baby. How interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. Oh wait, fuck. I just forgot. I'm not sure. I need to be running the trial as long as possible. I was just going down the fucking... I was trying to prove that Matt paid the assassin. I'm his fucking defense lawyer. Shit. I got a phone call from my mother. One moment.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
God, you're gonna die. Guess what?
What?
Janet has a tortured colon too.
A tortoise, not a tortured colon.
It's tortoise actually.
Tortuga.
Tortoise. She calls it a tortured colon too.
Oh, nice.
She has to have, in order for her to have colonoscopy, she has to have an endoscopy too.
Oh fuck! I wish we had talked to Janet beforehand.
Well, it's funny though. She said, she said the bad news is you don't know you have it until they go in there.
Yeah. So then that's good. We can we're just gonna decide that today was a mulligan.
Today was a mulligan. We learned something.
Yeah.
And we just have to go back and redo it.
Nope.
I'm completely at peace with the idea. I even feel better going back to see the same doctor. Like, all the anxiety around a total stranger going in my butt is gone.
Yeah, because you know who he is now.
Because I know him and I've talked to him, and I'll probably talk to him 1 or 2 more times before the next 30 days.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm totally fine with it. I'll do a chicken and rice diet the week before and take fucking Mucinex or Metamucil, whatever I need.
Miralax.
They can give me a fucking enema when I get in there, and all good.
Yeah, flush it out. All right, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of funny though, because I told her, she's like, "Oh my god, you're not gonna believe this. I have the same thing."
Twinsies.
I know, right? She's like, "I wonder if it was our drinking water." I was like, "No, I think we're just made this way."
Okay, I'm recording something for Natalie. I love you.
Okay, I love you too.
Say hi to Natalie.
Hi, Natalie.
Okay, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Well, no, I'm recording. She's gonna watch this on the plane ride home.
Oh, okay. Can't wait to have you. Hi.
Yay! Okay, I love you. Bye. There you go. You got a little. Yeah, but back to what I was saying. I'm not supposed to be trying to get Matt arrested. Let me see. Let me see what I'm supposed to do. Wait. Raise an objection. I need to prolong the trial. The defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for people like him. Are you saying that all the superstars are super spenders? If I could receive large rolls of cash simply by bringing people things on trays, then why on earth would I be standing here prosecuting? He's got a point. I don't even get paid, let alone rolls of cash for all my hard work. So suppose the roll of cash was not a tip. Then what was it? Payment, Your Honor. Fuck. Payment. Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Mr. Juan Carota. Then the bellboy the witness saw. Yes, he was the assassin. Hold your horses, Mr. Edwards. You don't have any proof, do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the card Shelley DeKiller left at the scene of the crime. Shelley DeKiller? He's the person the police's special investigations team has been chasing for ages. I need to eat this ice cream. It's melting. It's very hot in here. I am certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley DeKiller.
Really?
What's wrong, Mr. Powers?
No, nothing. Something just clicked in my head, and I think I figured something out.
Oh?
Actually, I saw that bellboy again later on that night.
What? Mr. Powers, please testify. Please tell us what you saw. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, right away. The old poo muscles.
Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording really quick and just like fucking devour some ice cream, and then I'm gonna come right back. You're not even gonna. It's gonna be a quick cut. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Bam! You didn't even notice, did you? Caramel salt and straw. Ooh. The second time.
This time I was in the hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that's when the bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say the room, I mean Juan Carota's room. Now that I think about it, the bellboy did seem kind of out of place. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean...
Thank you very much. That is all we needed to know for now.
Huh? But I'm still not done. There's more.
Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly Mr. DeKiller, then we shall see. So the bellboy came out of the victim's room, and if the bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. That would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain us and make us laugh. This is no laughing matter, Phoenix. The second time. Press. And what time was it when you went to the bathroom?
Ah, well, I don't remember. The award ceremony ended around 8 p.m., right? I went to Matt's room pretty soon after that, and then I came back. And then I went to the bathroom. So I guess it was like 8:10 by that time.
You're not one for details, are you, Mr. Powers?
Sorry. I thought I could maybe catch Matt and say my congrats.
Are you sure it was the same bellboy you saw?
Well, I mean, yeah.
How could you tell? All the bellboys wear the same uniform after all.
But you see, well, he had those stitches in his face.
Irk.
So I'm pretty sure it's the same guy that Matt was talking to.
Which room did the bellboy come out of? It was Juan Carota's. We know this. The victim's room, huh?
Yeah, the one with the really pretty flowers and the teddy bears. It was Juan's room, all right. Words cannot describe how screwed I am. Let's continue with the testimony, shall we? Now that I think about it, the bellboy did seem kind of out of place. So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's gonna say next. The bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart, and he wasn't holding a tray either. You'd call that a little strange too, wouldn't you? I agree that it's a bit strange, Mr. Powers. But is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I push him? I don't know how to not... I don't know how hard I'm supposed to be going, because I need to elongate. Try to pull a fast one. There's nothing strange about an empty-handed bellboy.
But there really, really is. There really, really isn't.
If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service. There's no reason for them to be empty-handed ever. Your Honor, I ask that the witness' previous statement be supplanted with this new one. Grr, Edgeworth. Liquid. Are you gonna tell him? Are you gonna do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? Yeah, I see. Very well. This court recognizes and grants the request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please.
Yes, sir. I thought it was kind of strange for a bellboy to come out of the guest room empty-handed. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin.
Oh no, fuck, I already did this. Okay, one second.
Oh, he was holding a tray in his hands, and then there was a bottle of juice and a wine glass on it.
Juice? What kind of juice was it?
I was pretty sure it's tomato juice.
If we could come up with some sort of reason why he'd be empty-handed, some sort of proof, then I think we can dodge this bullet for now. Proof, huh? I have this. I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll swing with it. Oh, it did work. Mr. Powers.
Yeah?
You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? You stupid simp. As soon as you heard the bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing that it must be true.
But isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches and...
So, a baseball has stitches. Are you saying that all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches?
Well, there's also... I mean, what about him being empty-handed?
I would like the court to please look here. This is the crime scene. There's a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Kuroda's body, and the liquid inside it, this glass is tomato juice. And if you'd look at the top of the table in the lower right-hand corner, anyone can clearly say there's a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Kuroda's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. But that would mean the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. But can you prove that Mr. Kuroda was already dead at the time? Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? Sorry, I was spacing out, yes? I blame you for leading me down this route. I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you'd like to share with us?
Is there?
The bellboy was empty-handed. Was empty-handed, or should I say empty-handed? I recall you saying something interesting about his hands.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot.
Huh? What's that?
The bellboy, he was wearing gloves.
Gloves?
Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right?
Black leather gloves. Why didn't you mention them earlier?
Sorry, it slipped my mind.
Boy, does this really make the bellboy look suspicious. All right, gotta focus. I can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves.
Come on, Mr. Wright. That bellboy's wearing black leather ones.
So, a football is made of leather. Are you saying that all footballs are suspicious because they're made of leather? But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant, and then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. It seems that we've finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh, yes, please tell us more.
Okay.
I can take a drink really quick. His voice hurts. Their second meeting. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door just like that. He gave us something. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and took my seat.
Holy shit. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room?
Yeah, I kind of saw all that by accident. Pretty crazy, huh? I just stood there and like watched a whole murder play out. I didn't even know it.
Some accident. I'd say you saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it's safe to say we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Their second meeting. After leaving...
Why is it like up a tempo?
After leaving Juan's room...
Hold it! Is that what you saw while you were busy spying?
Excuse me? I may be a poor underpaid action star, but even I wouldn't stoop to spying.
Well, I think the point is, where did you watch this all from, Mr. Powers?
Oh, well, from behind the door of the bathroom with my left eye and sort of a sneaky spy-like.
I knew he was spying. Please, it doesn't really matter if he did it overtly or covertly. What did the bellboy do next? That's all I care to know.
He gave something to the person in the room.
I said hold it.
Okay.
That's better. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details.
Oh, okay.
I should probably ask him only one question at this time. I mean, you can't know that Matt was the person inside, right? 1 second. Yeah, it's got to be the person inside. So who took this something off the bellboy's hands?
Actually, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm.
Only an arm? Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face?
Yeah.
Well, it was Mr. On Guard's room, correct? So it could have only been Mr. On Guard himself. And then, what'd the bellboy do after that?
Oh, after he gave the person inside the room the thing.
I already know what I have to do. I read a little bit. Listen, we gotta get through this shit before it's late and you have to download these. I said hold it. You have to push on both of these. Which, to be honest, is irritating. He gave something to this person?
Yeah.
And what was that something?
If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I?
But this implies something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure that you really can't remember, Mr. Powers?
I think it was something kind of small.
I would like to summarize the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small personal item of sorts to the person inside.
What was that?
As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm.
Yes, it was just like that.
Mr. Edgeworth, is this all really important? Of course, Your Honor. I think it's of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off.
Well, let's see. I think it was no...
If you remember, please add it to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
A wooden statue. Like this wooden bear-shaped figurine?
With your figurine of lead.
What's the point of that pregnant pause? It's a weird thing to say. Where did the objection come from? Speak up. It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling something bad is going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix, deep breath. Mr. Powers, the something you saw. Was it this item?
Oh, hey, that is it. Here, that's the something. Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out.
I recall this. I recall we found this inside Matt Ungard's mansion.
At the defendant's
house? Why the fuck would you present that? That's very incriminating, Phoenix. What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Shelley the Killer assassinated Juan Kuroda in his room. Then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found at Mr. Ungard's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor.
Matt on guard is the killer's client.
Order, order, order. I said order. Mr. Wright, this is the most unfortunate turn of events for you.
Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's all right. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure Edgeworth would have. I almost forgot he knew about it too.
I think it's clear that there's no need for us to continue the trial.
I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked.
Yeah, the whole suicide subplot. Your Honor, a minute, please. Yes, Mr. Wright. There's still a few points left we have not fully explored.
What are you trying to pull?
Oh, we can't have that. All right, Mr. Wright. The bear itself. The suicide notes in the bear.
The bear itself is very questionable.
The bear, Mr. Wright?
This was found at Mr. Onguard's mansion. However, Mr. Onguard was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder had occurred, he had not had a chance to go home. Ooh, I hadn't considered that, and you're super right. I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It's not possible that Mr. Onguard took this bear to his mansion.
Why, that's very true. Why didn't I consider that point, Mr. Wright? There's no way time-wise for the defendant to have taken the bear home.
Whew. Disaster averted. You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Wright?
Huh?
I remember it clear as day. I remember what you murdered to yourself at Onguard's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape. I can't believe it. That butler, all this time he was the killer. The killer and Onguard were working together, so to speak, and the killer was hiding at Onguard's mansion as its butler.
What a bold move.
The bear figurine was brought back to Onguard's mansion by the killer himself.
But you just said he gave the fucking bear to...
Yeah. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, Onguard had him do so. I assume because it would have been bad if the police had found it during their investigation.
Yeah, the suicide note's in there.
Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for quite a while now. This is too much. Isn't there anything at all I can attack? I have to try. I have to find something else.
What will you do now, Mr. Wright? Do you plan to...
I plan to expose a clearly shaky place in Mr. Powers' testimony.
What? There's still another one?
There is indeed, Your Honor, and it's quite a questionable point. What are you trying to pull?
Oh, well, we can't have that. All right, Mr. Wright. Where would you like to ask further?
The person who received the bear would be my guess. There's one thing Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear. It was the identity of the person who received the bear. Ooh, that would be a cool double twist if Mrs. Adrian Andrews, like also hired Shelley the killer to like give her the notes.
He gave something to someone inside the room.
I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was who took the bear, we can't be sure of. Ha! Huh?
Huh? Huh? Sorry. What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're gonna scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Actually, so I remembered.
Huh? I remembered who took the bear.
What?
Really?
I mean, I only saw his arm, but the arm. It was the Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear it.
You've got to be kidding. Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers?
Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai.
But that could have been Adrian Andrews. Order, order. It looks like you've dug your own grave yet again. How many times have I done that today? I've lost count.
So the person who took the little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we know, Matt on guard is the Nickel Samurai.
Thanks to the defense, we've made that all the clearer. I think we've heard enough. We now know why this figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Matt on guard. I see no reason for this trial to continue, therefore I will now hand down my verdict. Oh no.
Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edward has stated is the truth.
Any objections, Mr. Wright?
Well, what should I do? Raise an objection. I can't hear the verdict. I'll lose.
I will now announce my...
There's only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is this one dirty trick. Get me my whip. Your Honor, right now, we have 2 reasons to believe my client is the assassin. Or assassin's client. Reason number 1, he accepted the bear figurine. Reason number 2, that very same figurine was found at Enguarde's mansion. However, it's possible that this is all the work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What I'm saying is it's possible for a different person to be the killer's real client. Yeah, Adrian Andrews. The real client? Yes. Is that all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who are you saying that decline? It's fucking Adrian Andrews. Right? Adrian Andrews? Yes, we already know she tried to frame Matt Enguarde for the crime by wearing a spare nickel samurai costume. Ah! Then the nickel samurai arm we saw, that could have very well been Miss Andrews. But what about Mr. Enguarde? If you please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's right. Then finding this figure at Mr. Enguarde's mansion. It was a very well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic, besides which there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial? Come on, anyone can tell Enguarde did it. Blah, 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 blah. This is all stupid. I have to save Maya. Or this is to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Will you fuck her already? Jesus. Did you see Mia there? She's like, you want to fuck my sister, don't you? I can tell. Order, order, order. All your disruptive parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Jesus, I'm so sorry, Your Honor. For the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with this what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it was strange and wondered. Why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? He's right. The killer did... It's because the note is in the bear. They said the bear is like cut up like a puzzle or something. The suicide note's in there. I imagine that bear has something to do specifically with Juan and whatever her name in Pecta. What I don't remember. Celeste in PAX. I imagine it's like a sick burn, and that's why Juan like threw all those bears in the trash, and that's why like Matt would send all those bears as like a BM or so. Or no, the bear was like his mascot from the show. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The killer did specially bring that bear to Enguarde right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely, and I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear up all doubts against Miss Andrews, and who would that be? Fucking Matt Enguarde, baby. Oh, Adrian Andrews herself. Fuck. This shit's cray. Oh, fuck. I think I swept my hair the wrong way. Where am I going? Oh, fuck. It's too dark for me to see in the camera. I think this is right. Okay, I see. Well, then. The court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. March 23rd. Oh, I knew it was a good... Oh, sorry. Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage. Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation you'd try to pin the guilt on Adrian. Ah, I swear this demon will pay. Mr. Nick! Pearls? Where's Mia?
I don't know. A really strong power suddenly called her away.
Let's go, Maya. Really strong power.
Oh, Mr. Nick, your phone is...
It's from Gumshoe. How's it going? Have you been hanging in there, pal? Yeah, well, we just barely found something to latch onto. Whew, that's good, pal. And what about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out where the killer and Maya are? We still don't have any leads, but... What? We don't have any more time. If we just had one, even a single clue would be really helpful. And Mia's gonna... I was only able to come this far because I kept thinking to myself, I've got to keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. But have I just run out of luck this time? Is all of our hope for naught? A tent. Huh? A tent. I could see a circus tent. Mia. It looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you away. She's locked in a dusty little room right now, but I could see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe, is there a circus in town right now? There's only one circus, pal. The Big Circus. Maya is somewhere within a 300-foot radius of the main tent.
What? Okay, hold on a second, pal. Are you some kind of fucking psychic? Hey, draw a circle on the map about 300 feet radius from the main tent. Hurry.
And? I could see a mailbox just under the window just outside. Gumshoe, there's also a mailbox.
Okay, what else?
What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. It felt like it was an old office building, maybe the 3rd floor or so.
I heard her. An old office building, 3rd floor. Good stuff, pal. Just hang in there. Good luck. I'll call you later, so don't let your battery die, okay, pal?
Beep. Maya's not hurt, right? She's in pretty bad state. Phoenix, she's being starved.
Gumshoe, please hurry.
Looks like we're out of time. Are you all right, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make the trial last a little bit longer. We're going in. Court will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim and handed this to his client. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that will be blah, blah, blah. Sorry, one second. I have to check a text. Okay. Prosecution calls the defenders, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called as a witness to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You have seen it before? That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets? All right. Why? Why does she... The bear figurine. Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. At the center is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. So this figurine, it's a container of sorts? Yes. Looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination. Okay. We begin the pressing. Oops. Okay. Hold it. A puzzle. That's right. It looks like an ordinary figurine. True enough. To people who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess that this was a puzzle. So what kind of puzzle is it exactly? If you know the correct order, hold it. So you can take it apart, but how would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right, then push it in. Oh yeah, I see. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed. Oh, this is the most interesting. A boy and his new toy. It's like he's 5 all over again. Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead, carry on. I think he's lost it. So what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? Cavity small enough for an item. So how do you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir from from when a friend and I went to Switzerland. Then this was a present from you? That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for Juan. So it was a present from Miss Andrews. Witness, let's continue with your testimony. Because of its complexity, you can't open the bear. So who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the two of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland, so I doubt that there are that many people with the same bear in this country. But this looks like it could be easily broken, especially if somebody wants to get at what's inside. Well, it's a toy, but it can never be the same again once it's been broken. Who else knew about this bear? That this bear is actually a small container or jewelry box? I never told anyone, and as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us know. The two of you, huh? Then of course that means Mr. On Guard didn't know, right? I think this is all I'm going to get for now. Figuring updated in the court record. Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you've come to realize that there's one very important fact we've uncovered, and that is this. The bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we've agreed to this point, there's only one logical question that could come next, and that is, what is inside this box? What's inside? That's right. That's what we're about to witness next. Yes? You are the only one who can open this, please. Okay. There's a painful silence in the room. All eyes are on Miss Andrews as she solves the box and takes the bear apart. Click. I've opened it. Yeah, there's going to be the fucking suicide note. Is this what you wanted? What is this? It's like a note? I don't think we need to guess what this is, do we, Mr. Wright? I just wanted to be clear that the judge and the court have no fucking concept of the other story with Celeste. They have not heard about it. It's the suicide note. The suicide note? The suicide note left by Juan Kuroda's former manager, Celeste Impax. Till now, no one knew of its whereabouts, but just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Kuroda himself. It seems Celeste Impax had very beautiful handwriting, and she just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Order! Witness! Do you know about any of this? Yes, I did. I heard it all from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Because it had already been taken by the killer. Everything is going at Edworth's pace. So now the suicide note has been found. What's the next logical question? What is written on the note? That's right. At least, that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it's only appropriate that the contents of this note be made known. I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it, and I was going to burn it for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I cannot allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of the note aloud. Very well. The judge's voice rang out loud and clear through the deathly silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impax left us a record of all that had happened to her, about being used and thrown away by On Guard, about being engaged to Kuroda and On Guard's role in destroying that, and about how she decided in her despair to end it all. And that's all Miss Impax had to say. There's one thing I would like to say here. Banana bread. Sorry, the prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. On Guard. Then what? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word. Matt On Guard's value above all else is his refreshing like a spring breeze image, which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost. Celeste's suicide note was added to the court record. It's On Guard's fault. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody's gossiping. There's no room for doubt here. Mr. DeKiller's client's suicide... Mr. DeKlient's client's goal was to obtain the suicide note. The only fucking... Oh, God, I might need to finish this in the morning. You can probably watch it in Texas. And the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bear with the note was found inside the defendant's house. It seems that we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. How am I supposed to escape from this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. I know, but I know I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay, there are two deadly pieces of evidence, the figurine and the suicide note. Maybe some way I can find a way out of the situation through one of those. The gavel is already in the judge's hand, Phoenix. Hurry! The suicide note or the figurine? The figurine feels looser. Like, how would he know how to open it? How would he know that the note is in there? I'm going for the figurine. Please wait, Your Honor. Because the figurine, if he... Oh, man, look at that lawyer. He's still going at it. It's like he doesn't even hear. The assassin took this with him from the crime scene after murdering Mr. Kuroda, at the request of his client, of course. So what's your point, Mr. Wright? I don't think it's possible that Mr. DeKiller's client was Matt On Guard. In fact, I think there's a contradiction here. You can't tell that this is a jewelry box just by looking at it. The chances that Matt On Guard thought the note was inside this bear are 0 to none. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. Exactly, but I didn't think of it that way. But I thought of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. After all, there's no reason why Mr. On Guard would ever want a jewelry box like this. Order, order, order. You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? It was just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one. Unfortunately, I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Huh? The defense seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon himself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this. What is that? It's a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means for spying. Spying? What the? I thought that spy camera was in my possession. Matt, it's in Gumshoe's, son. Matt Ungard and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rivals. They even went so far as to use this kind of item to find each other's weaknesses. And? The victim, Juan Garoto, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt Ungard. Order, order! Ahem, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? You don't tell me you knew your client's spying activities. Well, sort of. Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you're confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was stuffed in the bear's eye. But this camera that I have is not the same one. Last night, I searched the victim's house on a hunch, using this Gumshoe's bug sweeper. By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. Matt Ungard's fingerprints were on there? Jesus Christ. Well, Phoenix, looks like those hidden cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence? I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Mr. Ungard learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter that. Hey, now what's that lawyer thinking? Yeah, blah, 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 gossip, gossip. Yes, Chief? Have you figured out what you're going to do next? What I'm going to do next? Just running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid on this case, but in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. What is it? There's one piece of evidence he should really investigate. Something he should investigate? I would really hate to see a good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? All right, I think we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections? What is this piece of evidence? Present evidence. I have to. I have an objection, Your Honor. That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, right? Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this go so easily. You're beginning to sound desperate. That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said? So you're telling me I forgot something important? You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence. Oh, fucking... the transmitter? I'm sorry, 1 second. I don't know what I'm missing. The suicide note? Oh, sure. That's what the evidence he didn't check. That is Miss Impact's suicide note, right? Who knows? I mean, sure, the suicide note was found inside this bear, but this bear was in my possession until only a few moments ago, which means the handwriting on the suicide note has not yet been analyzed. Oh, so as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Miss Impacts or not, that has yet to be even remotely confirmed. I guess that's fair. Like, we just got the note. We should probably do some forensics. Mr. Wright, you can't seriously be suggesting... Mr. Wright, you're seriously saying the suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. Ungard. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into the bear? Oh, how dare you? Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There's no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever. There is. She's the only one that can open the barrel. Objection! But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it. What? Recall that the witness testimony about this figure. The only person other than the victim that could solve the puzzle is the witness herself. Ugh. Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt on guard. I did no such thing. Right. If you're going to pronounce this suicide note fake, then show this court some evidence to support your theory. All right. Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution. Ah. That's enough. Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on the suicide note? It's as the defense stated. The handwriting is yet to be analyzed. If that's the case, it seems that we've reached a point again where a verdict is impossible. Impossible? That's impossible. This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is trying to carry the trial over to one more day. I don't think Maya will physically be able to make it another day. I didn't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate. Handwriting, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's all pissed. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Did we get her in time? What is that sound? It's Gumshoe. Beep. Hello, Gumshoe. What's with him? What's with that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away. What? I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was a way to make it up to you. I really do. Anyway, what's going on? We found this hideout, pal, but the two of them were already gone. This is terrible. I'm going to keep looking for them, pal. Don't worry. I just needed to buy a little more time. Don't tell me we don't. We don't have any more. No, we have very little time. Do you hear that? They're calling for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't for us to come this far and... Oh, what is it? Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. I can't do that. Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself? Yes, Your Honor. I'm about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone call after. Hold on, Your Honor. Edgeworth, catch. Take that, cell phone. Edgeworth, please, you've got to buy us some more time. Court is in session. And he hangs up. I fucking love Edgeworth. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You were saying... Mr. Wright, this is the court of law. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but... I am reluctant to do this, however. It appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow. This time I really can't do anything. Court is now adjourned for the day. Oh my god. Did Edgeworth actually let it finish? Okay, that's what I thought. Damn the drama! Please wait, Your Honor. Edgeworth? Well, what is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time. But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honor. But wouldn't it be better if we just adjourned and reconvened tomorrow? 30 minutes. Please, Your Honor. That's all I'm asking for. Please, Your Honor. Very well. You guys are really weird today. Feels like there's something else. You threw a cell phone. I feel like you guys are doing some shit. I'm not aware. At the prosecution's request, we will take a 30-minute recess. But be advised, I will not allow another recess today. I'm not sure if this is helping us or hurting us. The court will now take its final recess of the day. Clam. Right. Well, what's going on with Maya's situation? The killer, it looks like he got away again. 30 minutes? We can't find her in that time. Ugh. Report. Is that Mr. Edgeworth? We don't have time, just spit it out. Right, it looks like we just missed them, sir. But the killer left a few things behind by accident in his rush to get away. A few things? Can we use any of them as evidence? Ho ho ho, I thought you'd ask, pal. I've got the things he left with me right now and I'm on my way over. Really? That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first. We don't have time to wait for those guys, sir. When those guys weren't looking, I swiped the stuff and ran. What? Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so fuck them. I'm really sorry, sir, but I gotta put the law on hold for now. Sounds bad. I hope he doesn't get in too much trouble over this. With my hunk of junk costs, yeah, I'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me. All right, just get here in one piece. Aww. I'm on a mission and no one could stop me now, sir. No one. I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light. I'm a man on the edge. Items left by the murderer, huh? Maybe there's something among them that will be decisive enough to end this. This is very exciting. I like this case. We're partying, dude. Oh no. Did the lights just go out? Is the killer here? Oh no. Is the killer coming here to like fucking bust Matt on guard out? Oh no. Hey, what's wrong? Detective Gumshoe, answer me. No one could stop me. Oh, the killer. Did he get him? What happened? Sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well. What was he thinking? We've got to hurry and call for help. But we have no idea where he is. His cell phone is broken and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. Also, if we don't get those items before they do, the police will take them into possession. No, we can't let that happen. Well, if there's a way we can find out where he is, then we can stand a chance. Why did Gumshoe have to get into an accident now? Is there any way to find out where he is at this exact moment? I mean, I assume there's a way. That's right, there is a way. What? How? I'm sure we can find out where he is through this. There's the transceiver. Oh, just a minute, pal. I'm gonna double check something. Oh, that's sick. With Franziska's fucking tracking device. Why are you bringing up Franziska right now? Oh, I see. I'll try to get in contact with her. The chances are slim, but she's all we have. Franziska, will she even help us? Edgeworth, what is it? Oh, sorry, I did that backwards. I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. I know my client is guilty, but what I'm doing now, I'm pinning the guilt onto someone totally innocent and using the evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say defense attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death. Right. It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears. Whether you did your job well or not, that can only be decided after can only be seen after the verdict has been decided. The verdict. Is prosecution Edgeworth here? Yes, bailiff. There's a phone call for you, sir. Someone said it's urgent. They're probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, you think hard about what you must do. Aw, what a cliffhanger. This game's sick. Got a lot of momentum in this case. Oh, my back. It's already 9:30 and I have to do a bunch of stuff tomorrow. I might record tomorrow. I might try to squeeze it in and have you like watch it when you're in Austin or something, or wherever you land. I'll probably just finish it tonight. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Who cares? I love you.